everybody, how are you doing? Hope you're well. I welcome you back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jemmy Naftali. I am a pediatrician by profession. So this channel is all about kids welfare. Here I create the awareness, especially to mothers, to every guardian, whoever is taking care of these children. I educate them and let them have the know-how on common illnesses affecting children while growing up. I do this in a language that every person is able to understand, so I try to avoid medical terms here. So I want to involve everybody into the management of these children. So welcome into today's episode. Before I continue, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the red button, subscribe to be part of this wonderful family. This is a family, so join the family by subscribing. Also, if you're that returning subscriber, thank you so much. You are a favorite and you don't even know it yet. Thank you for always coming back to see and watch my content. Thank you so much. So in today's episode, I'm going to talk about blood transfusion. I felt it is good to let people know what blood transfusion is, what is required, at least people to have the knowledge of the blood transfusion. So to start with, this is usually a service. Blood transfusion, yes, it is a service, and we have got structures of blood transfusion starting from up to down. So we have got national blood transfusion centers, national blood transfusion centers. This is a policy, and this is whereby the coordination and also the regulation of the blood transfusion takes place. We also have another structure, that is the regional centers. This is whereby now the donors come in. The donor is the person that is giving out blood. So they come at the regional centers to donate blood. We also have the blood banks. The blood banks is whereby the processing of this blood takes place. So after the donor has come at the regional centers, they have donated blood. So how about the processing? We are going to see that we just don't give blood. It has got to go through a lot, like the processing we are saying. And we are saying the processing takes place in the blood banks. We also have blood transfusion units. So this is where the compatibility takes place, the blood transfusion units. So now here we are going to say that this is where now the recipient is the person receiving the blood. The donor is the one that is giving the blood. So at the blood transfusion units, this is whereby now the compatibility, we are able to see if the blood that the donor gave and is compatible to the blood of the recipient, the person receiving this blood. Hope up to there we are clear. Now, this blood is needed to be adequate. We have also to make sure that this blood is safe. We also have to make sure that it is readily available, and we are saying these are all the requirements of blood. Now, requirement for a donor, who are these people that are supposed to give blood? It is not everybody, so maybe you didn't know this, but we don't give blood. It's not like everybody gives blood. So we have got the things we call the requirements of a donor, the person giving out blood. So number one, they should give blood without expecting payments. Yes, I should repeat that statement, that the donor should be they should be willing to give blood willingly without expecting any payments in return. Remember, we are helping, so you come out willingly and you want to help somebody, even somebody that you don't know. So this is it, the requirement that you do not expect any payment. Yes. So another requirement for a donor, the person giving out blood, is that they must follow the details of what is required. So when you go there are people that will sit you down, they give you the requirements, what is needed. So you should be able to follow the instructions. So you should be able to follow the details of what is required. Another requirement for a donor, they must not be below 16 years. Again, they should not be above 65 years of age. Hope this is very clear. So the age matters a lot when we are giving blood. So if you are below 16 years, you're not able, you cannot give blood. If you are again above 65 years, you are not able again to give blood. The reasons are obvious. If it is above 65 years, we can be able to tell that above 65 years, we have maybe, we call them the diseases of the old. So we do not want to give them to give out their blood because they have got issues already at that point. Also, another requirement is that the donor must not weigh below 50 kgs. Yes, the kgs again here are very important. If you want to donate blood, you must have 50 kilos and above. Yeah, it's a requirement. They must otherwise be healthy. Yeah, you should be healthy when giving blood. Then the donor must allow the blood to be processed the best way. Again, you are told how the processing of the blood takes place, so you should be able to follow all these instructions. So those are the requirements of a donor, the person giving out this blood. How about the testing? When we talk of the processing of the blood that has been transfused, that has been given, how about now testing of this blood? What do we test for, or what do we screen for? Yeah, I think screening is the best name. What do we screen for to be able to say now this blood now is safe? So number one, I know most people know that we screen for HIV, and we screen for HIV-1 and also HIV-2. Yes, so HIV is number one that we screen for. So we do not want this blood to have this virus, HIV-1 and HIV-2. Other things we screen for are hepatitis B and C. Hepatitis is a disease of the liver, and it is very, very dangerous. So we do not want to give blood that is infected or affected by the hepatitis B or C. We have got hepatitis A, B, and C, but the most dangerous one is hepatitis B. Yeah, so we screen for hepatitis B and also hepatitis C. Nowadays, we also screen for malaria. Yeah, we have to make sure that this blood is free from malaria. We also screen for syphilis. Yeah, imagine. So nowadays things have changed. I know there before we used only mostly to screen for the HIV. So this is it currently. We are screening for syphilis. We are screening for malaria. We are screening for hepatitis B and C, and now HIV/AIDS. Yeah, the type 1 and the type 2. Now, this is it. How should this blood be handled? We are going to say that when we are transfusing blood, the blood is not handled by anyone. It's not handled anywhere again. Yeah, so we say that the blood should be handled in a designated container, also by designated people, in a designated area. So those are three important parameters to check. So they must be in a designated container. We just don't put this blood in any container. We are going to see why, because we are going to see what these containers normally have that any other thing does not have. So it must be handled in a designated container that we have agreed. This blood should be handled by designated people. They are the people that are put aside for that, not everybody. Yeah, because they have got put so many precautions when handling this blood. We want to be very, very careful. So they are the designated people to do this. Also in a designated area. So we do not give a blood anywhere. You cannot go take your blood at home, take that blood to someone at home. So it is a designated area. So let's talk about this designated container. What does it contain? It has got the anticoagulant. So we do not want this blood that has been transfused to coagulate. So the container has got the anticoagulants, yes. It has got energy generating moiety. So that's what I know, it's a medical term, but it has got that. It has got dextrose, it has got preservative. We really want to preserve this blood, so the container has the preservative. It has got a protector, normally a phosphate protector. So this is the designated container, right? The designated container, like we are saying. So it has got all these things. Now, which regional blood transfusion centers do we know, or where do we have them? So the regional blood transfusion centers that we have, number one, we have Nairobi, We have Nakuru, we also have Kisumu. So these are the major known regional blood transfusion centers. How about the BTU? The BTU is are the blood transfusion units. So this one is whereby now we link the donor with the recipient. Yeah, so here the donor is linked to the recipient. The recipient, we said, is the person that is receiving this blood. So at the BTU, at the blood transfusion units, is where the donor links to the recipient. And these BTUs are usually within the health providing facilities. We are saying they are not anywhere, you just don't go anywhere. So now this answers the designated area. It must be in a health providing facilities. Reasons are obvious for them to undergo this screening of the things we have said before. So at the BTU, at the blood transfusion units, this identifies the compatibility between the donor and also the recipient. Yeah, is this blood compatible? The compatibility between the donor and also that of the recipient, the person receiving the blood. So it identifies the compatibility. Yes. Now, what are the components of blood? If I may educate to make you know. So you just hear say we transfuse blood, so we do not give all of it. So we have got components of blood products. Number one, we have red cells, the red blood cells. The red cells are products. We have white cells, but mostly when it comes to transfusion, white cells are not required mostly. We also have something we call platelets. Yes, platelets are part of the components of blood. You may hear someone needing platelets, and they are very, very expensive. So you hear someone requires platelets depending on the diseases. We also have plasma products. So we have plasma products. So these are the components of the blood products. Now, after doing the transfusion, does the transfusion has any complications? The answer is yes, it does. Yes, we are transfusing to give this patient this blood, and they really need this blood. But again, we are going to see that this transfusion has got complications. So number one complication, we have infections. Yeah, for the obvious reason. So the patient is injected, it's through intravenous, through the vein. So we keep injecting, and you find that we get this infection. So we have got infections are very common as a complication of blood transfusion. We also have urticaria. Urticaria is a rash, it's a mild rash. So you find the patient receiving blood having a rash all over the body. So this is what we call the urticaria. We also have transfusion related acute lung injury. This is very dangerous. We call it the TRALI. The TRALI. Yeah, the TRALI is in full is transfusion related or induced acute lung injury. This one causes death, unfortunately. So here the lungs now are involved, so as a complication, especially to those patients that needs massive transfusion, or maybe they get transfused many times, so they get this TRALI, and eventually we get a lot of deaths because as a result of this complication. We also have things like overload volume. We have volume overload of this blood. You find that the patient is not able, the system is not able to take it anymore. Then we end up having a volume overload of this blood. This is a complication, a very, very common complication. We also have embolism. So that blood starts having an emboli, like a clot, if I may say. So, and whenever we have the embolism, it is dangerous. It can dislodge to the lungs, it can dislodge to the heart, and this is the end. Embolism is very, very dangerous. So this is a part as a result of a blood transfusion complication. We also have a DIC. This is disseminated intravascular coagulation. So disseminated intravascular coagulation is as a result of massive blood transfusion. So again, the patient, especially for example the patients that have got cancers, you find them their blood levels go down so easily, so they are mostly transfused. most cases they are in the hospitals getting transfusion. So because of this massive blood transfusion, again we get this coagulation, the DIC, the disseminated intravascular coagulation. This again is a very, very common and very dangerous side effect or complications of blood transfusion. So I hope now you have the knowledge. When you hear of blood transfusion, you can be able to know what we talk about. So I found it wise, or I thought that it is good to let you know about blood transfusion. If you have any questions, please go to my comment section. Comment. Thank you for those that are commenting. Thank you to those who come to my email. I read them every time and I reply to you people. Thank you so much for that. And even those who are asking for various topics we cover. Yes, I'm on tour. Yes, I am with you and I'm going to do all of them. So thank you so much. Again, subscribe, because the largest part of the people they are watching my videos but they haven't subscribed. Kindly subscribe to be part of us. Yes. Also, my email is provided in the end of every video so that you can even reach me via emails. So also turn on your notifications to be able to know every time I'm posting a video here. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye bye.